I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand, and this is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes because you've got quarterbacks here, yes, that can throw the football, but they can also run it very well too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. Commanding the offense will be Lamar Jackson, the electric quarterback out of the University of Louisville.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Let's go. Right there, 54 miles. I got you, son. I got you.
A first carry for Leonard Fournette. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. And a man, as we look at the starters now, a man who really has earned us talking about him in the booth, Julio Jones.
He's a 1,000-yard receiver each and every year. So sleek, so wonderful. I call him Secretariat.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
All day, just like that.
Throwing is Jackson. Got his man. That's the Pro Bowler Julio Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down. The numbers for Jones a week ago: 5 catches, 87 yards.
Better tighten up the coverage if you expect to slow this guy down, because if he gets going, he'll eat you up.
And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Now on 2nd and 13. Jackson over the middle, and it's incomplete. Kelvin Harmon, the man he was looking for. 3rd down here. This is how the defense will line up for Seattle. They've been pretty good against the pass. Not amazing, but good. Number 13 in the league.
And since this is such a good unit at covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They go play action now. Jackson, and the throw there going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Here comes the Lions punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
And when I think of Russell Wilson, I think not just of the big plays that he's made, and those are considerable, but when they were made. 4th and 26 in a Big Ten championship game against Michigan State when he was with Wisconsin. A big completion helped lead his team to a victory. A big 4th down throw for a touchdown in an NFC championship game against the San Francisco 49ers. When the chips are down, this guy plays at a big level.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at the 20.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
On the ground, this is Rashad Penny, and he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. And with this offense, what about DJ Fluker?
Came out of Alabama, could play tackle, could play guard. He's so big, Brandon, I think he plays both at the same time.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Wilson to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. Well, look now at the starters on the defensive side for the Lions. They were excellent a week ago in the victory over Arizona.
No matter what coverage was called, they were in the hip pockets of the receivers all game long. I mean, they were running the routes with them. Turned out, they were right there on every single ball thrown and came away with 5 interceptions.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Penny, a 1st down carry. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Credit the tackle that time to Deshaun Hand.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 36, Wilson, and that'll be incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, but now it'll be 3rd down. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
I'm darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. This is Jeff Swaim, the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That'll pick up the 1st down for Seattle on a gain of 18.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? And he'll get it down here to the 43. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Third and long. It's Wilson. He's going to wind up and air it out. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now fourth down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory. I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Leonard Fournette. Oh, Fournette loses it. It's out. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And it won't count for 6. He's brought down, but inside the 5. First and goal at the 4-yard line.
Well, that sure started out as a good example of what they call backed up or coming out on offense, meaning you're backed up close to your own goal line. Big-time emphasis on practicing that to try and create some room at no less to give the punter a chance to kick the ball away. It means take care of the ball, try and create some space. They were doing that, and the ball comes free.
The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? First and goal. Following the fumble recovery, it's Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. A first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
To throw is Jackson. Looking deep for Julio. And that will be incomplete. That makes them now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense, because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at about the 14. Now a hit and a loose football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line.
And that's what friends are for.
Right? As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer, and put your defense in a bad spot.
After review of the play, the line on the field is reversed.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. On 1st down, Wilson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Damon Harrison bringing in 341 pounds of power for the sack.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
So following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. Now it's Wilson. Forced out to his left. He'll try and run it. A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on 1st down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off, not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on 3rd down, makes it manageable now.
For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 10 yards and a Seattle 1st down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And this will be incomplete. physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Hey, alert. Big gas.
Second and 10 now, Wilson. That one going to be complete to David Moore. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
And that's called winning at the point of attack, isn't it? Right there at the line of scrimmage. I know he's a little bummed out now. He doesn't get credit for a tackle for a loss, but no gain, his guys will take that.
And speaking of winning, to be as cheesy as we can, he was the winner of the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award from last week, so he's really stringing together some good football.
So not only did he get a gold star, he might have gotten a gold watch too, huh?
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. On third down, Wilson. And he's got Lockett. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 34-yard line.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus coverage, and that changes things a little.
They go back to the ground now with Penny. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Wilson after the play fake to Carson. Flushed out right. He'll let this go for the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete. With strong safety, Jaleel Adai right there in coverage. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored 1, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
Alert.
Throwing on third and long. Wilson. It's complete to Lockett. That one goes for 24 yards.
Let's go.
He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
1080.
Wilson leaves this one with Penny. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Damon Harrison, the one on the stop.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's second and 9, just a yard on that last run. from the gun, a give to Penny. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
The Seahawks on third down. They have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5.
51 the mic, boy, 51. I got him.
Operating from the gun. Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle.
Touchdown.
Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. That was quite the call down around the goal line on 4th and goal.
Yeah, they fake the run, pull it out, throw it. And as a defense, I've been in that spot before, and we see it all the time. You almost have to overcommit against the run. You have to almost sell out and say, they're going to run it, go make a play. They got fooled on that one.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And it's now 14-0. That one was an extended drive. 14 plays all told. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again on offense, we get a peek at Julio Jones now. With them losing here in the second quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I say just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not? 4 verts. One of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
We got 4. We got 4.
Throwing again. Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. The intended receiver there, Kenyon Drake. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3, cut, balls out of his hand.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Give them 35 yards there on the 3rd down conversion. Back in the first quarter, you said it, they need to avoid the big play, but he just got a big one right there.
You can't relax. You know, we talked about in the first quarter, but as the game progresses, still opportunities, and he took advantage of one there.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
He dumps it off to Drake. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Was a kicker from that distance, 56, 57 yards. So many things you got to worry about, but I am a little surprised he didn't get it there.
Yeah, with the way kickers are nowadays, we're surprised anything under 65 that it doesn't get at least to the crossbar. But remember this, you have to drive it a little bit lower in order to make that distance, and you also have to be worried about the interior rush that they can get their hands on it. So that's why those stronger kickers nowadays who can pop it up in the air and still travel and carry it, that's what you're looking for.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. On 2nd and 2, Wilson into the hands of his tight end, Jeff Swain. A big play that time for the Seahawks. And even 40 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Two minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. They'll try and run forward with Penny. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. To throw is Wilson. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17, following the 2 negative plays.
Let's go. I know he ain't got
it. To throw is Wilson, operating from the gun. And the pressure gets to him again. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. On comes the Seahawk kicker here on 4th down. It's Jason Myers. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. And Myers able to knock it through, and the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And now let's discuss Julio Jones. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. From the gun, Jackson. That is incomplete. The intended target, T.J. Hawkinson. And it's 2nd down.
Partner, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with, some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting the 50% thus far.
Well, certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now Jackson. It's complete to Drake. The Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Well, that 2nd down completion, something of a disaster, and now they're left with 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Jackson. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October.
All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. This fielded at the 2. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Well, he strung it out as far as he could, and I like the fact that he kept his eyes downfield, but he finally ran out of time and room. But I'll take that over forcing it downfield and possibly having it intercepted.
Buying time to his left. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
He's checking. Crash. Check number 22, jet, bomber. 22, jet, bomber.
Now Rashad Penny. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First down Seattle on a pickup of 13.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Hasn't had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Let's go, D, let's go. Hey, let's get there.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. And now he'll tuck it and run. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards and a first.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Hey, we got 4. We got 4 down. 4 down.
Now Wilson. From the gun, he'll throw. Open is Swaim, the tight end. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line.
Come on, fellas.
A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Wilson now 11 of 17 passing thus far. He's got his guys a 1st and 10. They'll run with Penny here out of the shotgun. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming for you, son.
From the gun, Wilson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
It's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play.
Hey, we're going Mike 40, Mike 40.
Wilson to throw on 3rd down. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Counter play, Drake. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
on a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
First down for the Lions on a nice pickup of 18 yards.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
They stay on the ground with Drake. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down. Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Out of the pistol, it's Fournette. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they finally put it into this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. So here are the Seahawks ready to take over on offense. They were able to defeat Houston last week. They lead things here as well as they try to make it 2 victories in a row. Wilson now. Following the fumble recovery, he'll throw. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Well, it looked like a quick hitter, a 3-step drop, but when it's not there, what do? He elects to try and escape through the massive bodies up the middle, and he does so and picks up positive yardage.
On 2nd down, it's Carson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Now it's Penny running right. And he will force his way forward for a yard or 2, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back.
Offense.
So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot, but they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. A carry now for McKissick. Down right around the 25. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. They'll roll him out right. He'll find Metcalf. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. Well, clear running situation. Try to take time off the clock. He ran the previous play, set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they had shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit them over the top.
The Seahawks on third down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This is 3rd and 8.
Tempo. Mike 51 wants to run.
From the gun, it's Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Deshaun Hand able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Myers' kick is good. And that will up the score now. It's 23-zip. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This is taken about 7 yards deep. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
2nd down, a little more productive than 1st. 7 yards on the gain. It gets them to 3rd and 3 now.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
Jackson from the shotgun. Catch is made. It's Harmon. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack. This stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores. I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks.
Ready up. 40's the mark. Let's get it together, defense. Hey, lock it. Watch the eye.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Deshaun Hand able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his third sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14.
Single. Watch 14, watch 14. Tight end left.
2nd and 14. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Now back to throw. The quick slant caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Set. 15 line. 15 line.
They'll go with a keeper. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down.
Oh, yeah, good surge defensively. Sometimes you can just tell by the way a quarterback lines his feet up behind center. He's going to try and sneak it in. And they catch him here and stop him for no gain.
Ready.
Now this time he'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off down at the 2. He's at the 50. 30. The 20. 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell and just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Here we go. 30 base.
After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. A gain of 6 there on first. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. 2nd and 4. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. This is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
Hey, box drop, box drop.
Mike 51, Mike 51. Yo, 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 yo. Yo!
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. They set up the screen to Penny. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. That first down completion only netted them 3. 2nd and 7.
Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again.
General West.
Hey, alert 3, alert 3.
Ready, ready.
Penny. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Got it.
Mike 51.
Let's lock it, lock it.
Defense. Kill, kill, kill. Turn it up. Kill, kill, kill. Turn it up.
Get it.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And an alley to run. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down. That is an absolute backbreaker. That was a design passing play, wasn't a draw. You think you got him stopped, good coverage downfield, and he's able to pick up the first with his legs. Defensively, that kicks into your psyche and hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and here's the thing. Anytime you give up a first down, it hurts you psychologically, but it hurts more when they get it this way because you've covered everything. He didn't have any place to throw the football. He takes off running and picks it up anyway, and now you have to stay on the field for an extra set of downs.
And really could have used that stop trailing here in the 4th.
And with that kneel down at the end of the game, partner, they now get to 3-1. This is a good football team we saw in this game.
It is indeed getting to 2 games above 500, and I know early on, while they said they wanted to win every game, they thought they would be solid with a 3-1 start, and here they are.
Yeah, you break your schedule up almost into quarters, every 4 games, and assess 3-1. Any team would take that.
So the victory here for Seattle, and I think the game balls need to be distributed on the defensive side of the football, and I bet that you would agree.
Yeah, if you hold a team under 10 points, that's a job well done, really well done. So I would say game balls for every starter and every key player who participated in this game.
Now, see, I only like one game ball. You're handing out multiple. Although I set you up by saying game balls plural, but I
like where we're going with this. Though you say one to represent like the best player of all of that, and I say multiples so that you keep everyone motivated and involved.
You're a man of the people.
I'm a man of the people. I thought I was the only child.
You get a game ball, and you get a game ball. Game balls for everybody. So for the Seahawks, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.